And welcome to Geordieland 1892. Obviously yesterday it was absolutely fantastic. Newcastle getting a win away at Ellen Road, beating Leeds 1-0. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely over the moon. Get in, lads. It was a game that, to be honest, at the very start, I wasn't very confident before kick-off. And probably for about the first 20 minutes, I was kind of thinking, oh God, here we go, we're going through the motions again. We're kind of all over the place a bit in the first 20 minutes. It didn't really fill me with hope at the very start. Rafinha seemed to be the man who was creating everything for them down that wing. And at times in those first 20 minutes, I thought that Newcastle were giving the wingers, Leeds United wingers, a little bit too much space there. Maybe that was a ploy, I don't know. But definitely Rafinha was cutting in and causing all sorts of problems for Newcastle at the start. I mean, 11 minutes gone, and Dubravka was actually called in to make an absolutely brilliant save. I have to say, one-on-one, shot stop, absolutely class. He dealt with it brilliantly. And you know, at that point then, you started thinking, well, you know, they're going to be queuing up for more. It did kind of go that way for a little while. You know, they had their kind of odd chances. And you know, it was putting the fear of God into me. Like, I was getting the terrors, you know what I mean? I thought, here we go again. Like, we're not going to be able to do this. We're not going to get away with even a point here. But, you know, Newcastle United, to give them all their due, that as the game went on, they started to unite. They started to amalgamate, like, and play for each other. And you could see, little bit by little bit, you know, there was a bit of belief. Now, obviously, they started the game, kind of their positioning, defensively positioning was all over the place, and we kept giving the ball away to them, kept passing the Leeds players all the time. And I have to say, you know, they weren't pulling up trees. Like, some of their passing at time wasn't great. But like I say, you know, as the game went on, we gathered momentum and we started to believe. Now, obviously, in the 28th minute, we get ourselves up the pitch there, and we get a corner, and you know, Mr. Fraser floats in across there from the corner, and it's kind of, it comes out, and then it goes back in, and then it's cleared only as far as Shelby, and it comes out, and Shelby catches it on the volley. Absolutely sweet as, but unfortunately Melier, the Leeds goalkeeper, is equal to it, and he makes an absolutely fantastic save. And you know, you just banging the floor, banging the wall, banging I thought, you know, that was an absolutely amazing chance. And you know, when you follow Newcastle United, especially in the last game, you know, you realise that you don't get that many chances to score goals. So you know, you're thinking to yourself, could that have been the chance? You know. Anyway, so you know, we battled on, and you know, always a bit of a threat from Rafinha there on the wing again. There was a few little scares, but you know, on the whole, I thought Newcastle started taking the game well to them, and you know, we started to attack them and cause them a lot of problems. In the meantime, you know, Joe Willock, he's on the pitch, but I mean, he's kind of waltzing around. For me, he was like in a bit of a daydream. He didn't see much urgency with him. His play was a bit slow. He looked at the start of the game, he looked like he didn't want to be there. But as the game went on, I have to say, his game got better and better. And I mean, right at the end of the game, he was having a great game, actually. He really came into it. Now, obviously, at 41 minutes, Joe Linton goes down. He's holding his groin. We knew he had a bit of a groin strain, and it was kind of no surprise that he was going to end up being substituted there. And he had to come off, and Sean Longstaff coming on, which I might say Sean Longstaff also had a really good game yesterday. He's come in for a lot of criticism, a lot of slagging, but he put a shift in yesterday. Well, they all did, to be fair. It was all hands on deck, and you know, they really fought for those 3 points yesterday. You know, 46th minute, obviously because of he was down for so long, Joe Linton, there was about 5 minutes added on, and the 46th minute, Fraser was causing all sorts of problems. Leeds were scrambling it away. They were at 6s and 7s, and then obviously, you know, probably right near the end of the half, 48th minute, you know, Chris Wood had a bit of a chance, but unfortunately, you know, he just couldn't connect with the ball. He was just a little bit too far away. So Newcastle come out the traps really well in the second half, and pretty much straight away, you know, Alan Saint-Maximin, he starts like blistering towards the box, and he gets his shirt tugged, I mean, halfway across here, like, you know. He's pulled back. It's a blatant foul for all to see. The referee's in a perfect position, standing right there in front of it to see this, and he just waves play on, and it was a blatant foul and a probable penalty for me. But Alan Saint-Maximin was furious about this, and you can't blame him really, because it was there. It was you know, it was so obvious, like I say. And he's chasing the referee afterwards, telling him, you know, why didn't you blow for that? Why didn't you blow? Eventually, unfortunately, Alan Saint-Maximin persisted a bit too long with him, and he ended up getting a yellow card, believe it or not. But the referee was massively at fault there, and I hope he looks back at that and realises, you know what I mean? Just what a bad decision he made there. To be honest, decisions like that, especially for a club in our situation at the minute, they're massive. They're massively important, and we're just lucky that we did get a win in the end, because we'd be lamenting about that, wouldn't we? So we're at the 60-minute mark, and Paul Dummett seizes up and he goes to ground, and it's obvious that he's not going to be able to continue. So Eddie Howe decides that he's going to bring on Javier Manquillo, which turned out to be an absolute game changer. The kid come on, and I tell you what, straight away you could see he was up for it. And he put in a hell of a shift yesterday. Up and down the pitch he was. I tell you what, he worked really hard. And sometimes, you know, little flashes of skill that he does. He passes people, runs around them. I tell you what, he had a really good game. And of course, really, if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have got the goal. Well, we wouldn't have. At that point, Manquillo had come on, and I think like Leeds had another chance where James was kind of poaching right on the post. The ball came in, and he should have done a bit better, really. And you could see Bielsa, the Leeds manager, absolutely going crazy, animated on the sideline. He was livid, and I think he knew he should have done better as well. But anyway, straight after that, you know what I mean, the game's at a furious tempo. It's up and down. And in the 67th minute, Lascelles also injured with his hamstring. He had, prior to this, had slid in, and you could see that he'd done something to his hamstring. And so, you know, Jamal Lascelles is now to be substituted. And Eddie Howe brings on Kieran Clark. So at this point, you know, we've used all three subs. So I was a bit worried about that, because we seemed to be dropping like flies. And I was hoping that the rest of the lads are going to be able tough this one out, you know what I mean? Newcastle, you know, obviously, like I said, that they started believing, they were attacking, more free flowing, and on 71 minutes, you know, a great ball from Willock that cuts across the box to Wood, but he just couldn't make the chance, and that was another one went begging really. All right, Chris Wood, you know, it was only his second game, and you know what I mean. He's obviously going to have to be eased in gentle, but he does look a little bit slow to me. He does, especially when he turns. He looks very slow on the turn, but I'm sure, you know, we'll see much more of him, you know, after the break and in the coming season. I'm sure he'll get it going, you know. But anyway, the moment that Newcastle was to savour for Newcastle, let's say, was the 73rd minute, and Javier Manquillo gets the ball and off he goes on a run, and he's the furthest Newcastle player forward at the time, and he's absolutely bombing into their box. And he, just before he gets into the box, he puts the ball around the Leeds defender, and the Leeds defender cannot do anything else. He just basically takes him out because he knows he's beaten. And Manquillo's flat on the floor, and you know, it's an obvious free kick for Newcastle United. Now, lining up to take this free kick was obviously John Joe Shelby on one part and Trippier on the other, and it turned out it was John Joe Shelby who was going to execute the free kick. And well, to be honest, it was quite a clever little free kick. Anyway, he hits it low, and it skips, and it just skips up, and it goes over the hand of the goalkeeper into the corner. 1-0 to Newcastle. Get in! I tell you what, man, I was absolutely over the moon to see that. Absolutely brilliant. I thought it was poor goalkeeping, to be fair, and I think he'll probably be kicking himself for that, like Melier, the Leeds goalkeeper. But at the end of the day, it's 1-0 to Newcastle United. John Joe Shelby scored the goal, and you could just see the delight. I mean, the fans, everybody, you can just imagine. I mean, it was such a relief. But at that point, I mean, obviously, you know, we're not very good at keeping clean sheets. So, you know, squeaky bum time was round the corner, like, wasn't it? But like I say, 75th minute, John Joe Shelby, and you know, anyway they gone in, I'll take them. But that was great. It was absolutely great. Basically, the game carried on. Newcastle kept pouring forward, and they were looking for another goal straight away. They've learned. They've learned that they've got to go for it. They've got to really go for the jugular, you know. And you know, as it happened, they had a few chances here and there. ASM he burst into the box in the 96nd minute, takes on a load of players, weaves his way into the box. Absolutely fantastic bit of play. And unselfishly, he spots Willock on the other side of the box, and he plays a beautiful ball through to him. And Willock snaps at it, but the goalkeeper makes an absolutely great save, I have to say. I honestly thought it was 2-0, had to be. But like I say, the goalkeeper had made up for his previous error. And I have to say that during that game, he did make some really good saves, as did Dubravka, to be fair. There was some good goalkeeping on show yesterday. But the 2-0 wasn't to be, but finally, the final whistle goes, and Newcastle United triumphant at Ellen Road, much to the disappointment of the Leeds United fans, who I imagine thought that it was a 3-point banker for them. They were going to move away, way further away from the relegation zone by beating us yesterday, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen, and obviously the travelling Newcastle United fans, all 3,000 of them down there, were absolutely jubilant voice. They were all the way through the match. They were absolutely amazing, you know. I applaud them, absolutely brilliant. But the scenes at the final whistle, you could just see how much it meant to them to get that 3 points. You could see on every player's face just how happy they were. And, you know, it was a joy to see. It was a real joy to see. And I had a few last night. You can probably tell. But obviously now Newcastle United, we kind of bow out on a high note there before the break, which is great because I think it would have been a lot more pressure. It would have been very worrying to go into the break with either just another draw or a loss. But you know, we've finished that off on a very high note, especially winning away to a half decent team. And now they jet off to Saudi Arabia, where they're going to be doing a kind of break in a summer camp. So they'll be training down there. I think it'll do them the world of good. And I think it'll relax them. And the weight that must have come off their shoulders when that final whistle went yesterday, absolutely brilliant. And it was impressive. It was impressive. So massive pat on the back to all of the players yesterday. Great combined effort. Like I say, I'm happy as a sandboy here. Like I'm still grinning away. Great, absolutely great stuff. Anyway, that was me from Johnnyland 1892. Obviously, just wanted to go through the match with you, and I'll be back with some other stuff this week. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you can, stick a like, share, and please subscribe. We need subscriptions very, very much at the moment. The channel is doing very well, and thanks to all of you who have subscribed so far. Absolutely brilliant. So from me, Johnnyland 1892 from OTV, I'm out.